The Supreme Court issuing a clear message to the state of Alabama today that essentially boiled down to, we're not doing this again. The court rejecting requests from state officials in their attempt to sidestep creating a second black majority congressional district in the state, which the court ruled back in June that they must do.
Dale Jackson here for Yellowhammer. Now, listen, folks, it should come as no surprise. If the American media is talking about Alabama, they are probably trashing it. And yes, they are trashing the Attorney General. They are trashing the state in general. And they are basically trashing the idea that Alabama be able to govern itself. Why? Because the national media doesn't like the way Alabama governs itself. And many in the local media feel exactly the same way. I told you from the very beginning that this play by Democrats was actually pretty smart. I mentioned it yesterday in particular, that it was pretty smart, and what they were doing was probably going to work in their favor in a lot of different ways. Well, why is that? Well, to put it simply, they were playing with a stacked deck. Yes, that is correct. The argument that they were making was basically everybody was being racist. How were they being racist? By not being racist. You see, that is the main issue here. If you didn't racially gerrymander in the favor of Democrats, well, then you racially gerrymandered against African Americans, which is not what happened at all. Communities of interest were supposed to be a thing, and now we're told that they're not. You weren't supposed to draw lines based solely on race. Now we're told you absolutely are supposed to put this many black people in this district, or else a special master will come in and draw those lines. Well, I was ahead of the curve. I mean, it really was. Because, yeah, it's very smart for Democrats. Because on the same day that the special master announced that they were going to say, I don't know, draw the lines with one guy instead of the entire elected legislature, there was a challenge. It said, hey, don't put these maps in place yet. The whole hearing hasn't been done yet. And the Supreme Court said, yeah, well, we're not going to listen to that. We're not going to listen to that at all. And now the national media is geeked. Here is Alabama shame. Caitlin Collins on CNN.
The Supreme Court issuing a clear message to the state of Alabama today that essentially boiled down to, we're not doing this again. The court rejecting requests from state officials in their attempt to sidestep creating a second black majority congressional district in the state, which the court ruled back in June that they must do.
Not true. Again, it doesn't matter that this is just not a true statement. That is not what the court found. The court said, draw an opportunity district. Didn't say draw a majority and minority district. Didn't say draw a majority black district. Caitlin Collins is either lying or she is ignorant. This idea of defiance by the legislature is just patently BS. It's not what happened here. But again, it's a smart move by Democrats in the media to cast Republicans as racist. They're being defiant. They're saying, no, we're not going to draw black people a district. Screw those people. We're racist here in Alabama, remember? And Caitlin Collins is going to tell you that too, because we're not going to do this again. They love this story because they're going to be able to use it in the future. How? By lying about it. And Caitlin Collins is doing just that.
The justices denying that request for intervention from the state with just a single sentence, no recorded vote, no dissent. Alabama has been ordered to come up with 2 majority black districts or something quite close to that to better represent this.
Very interesting. Now the story has changed halfway through. First it was they were told to draw 2 majority and minority black districts, and then it was now something close to that. That's correct. It was something close to that. And they did draw something close to that. But remember, it didn't say draw 2 majority and minority districts. In fact, the special master didn't draw majority and minority districts, not 2 of them, in 2 of the 3 maps they put out there. So that's, just worth noting here. But they did go in and gerrymander based on race, which is now apparently okay as long as you do it in a way that benefits Democrats. This is a Democrat opportunity district. That's all it is.
State's 27% black population. The map that Republicans offered still only had 1 majority black district. But with this decision today, Alabama will now be on its way to having a new map in time for the 2024 election, something that could have national implications.
absolutely true. She's right about that. And I'd like to go back to what I originally said yesterday. Democrats' redistricting game plan is pretty damn smart, because now they're going to use it to say Republicans are racist, which of course they're not being here because they did not gerrymander by race. They're going to use it to take congressional seats without having to cast a single vote. They'll flip them, at least that's what they think they'll do, and they will use this as a weapon in other states to racially gerrymander. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. Steve Marshall, the Attorney General of the state, thinks it as well.
The General's office released a statement after its appeal to the Supreme Court was denied. Attorney General Steve Marshall says in part his office will comply with the court's injunction, but intend to defend the 2023 congressional map, which has yet to receive a full hearing.
That's an important piece of this. It has not yet received a full hearing. So this is not completely over yet. But don't get mistaken here. I'm not telling you that Republicans are going to win this battle. I think it's pretty clear that they're probably going to lose. And the end result is racial gerrymandering. So much like the modern racist and the previous racist, gerrymander in my favor and I will be completely happy. But if you don't gerrymander in my favor, I will be angry about it because that would be wrong. And that's fine. Let the courts come in and make that decision. Because if I follow the logic of some of the race hustlers in our society, they say that the remedy for previous discrimination is present discrimination. That's what this is. So the remedy down the line for present discrimination is future discrimination. I see in no way, shape, or form that any of this backfires. We are becoming a more racially divided society, not less, and it is by design. This is another perfect example of this. You're pretending and telling African Americans if they don't get a Democratic voice, then they have no voice. This is the message that Democrats have been pushing for years. And I would look at that and say, how's that working out for you? And the answer is not very well. But as with most things, when something doesn't work, the people in the media say, yeah, but what if we just do it harder? So looks like we're going to see that. There is a massive shift taking place in this country right now. We are bringing in 11,000 illegal immigrants every single day. And if you do the math, after about 2 months, you are creating an entire congressional district full of illegal immigrants. So after 2030, you will see even more racially motivated gerrymandering taking place. Maybe it will be brown. Maybe it will be black. It will not be white. Don't worry about that. But we will tell ourselves that it's okay because of racial discrimination in the past. And this will do nothing to drive resentment and further racial division. But remember, that's their plan, to drive more racial resentment and division. So don't think they're trying to get away from this. This is all happening by design. I'm shocked the Republican Supreme Court has gone along with this so far, but that's what's happening here right now, and Alabama is the canary in the coal mine. We'll see what happens when they hear the whole case. We'll see where it all goes. But I would not look forward to them stepping in and stopping this nonsense. Instead, it looks like we're going to step on the gas.